Thank you, Ken. I'd like to acknowledge that we are in Mi'kma'ki, the traditional or ancestral territory of the Mi'kmaq people. Meeting is called to order. We have all members of council present and I'd like to welcome the new council members. It's lovely to have you here. We also have members of the public who are attending with us today. We have Lucy Longmire and Lynn LeBlanc who are here, and Lynn Longmire will be addressing Lucy will be addressing Linda LeBlanc. Lucy and Linda. Thank you. Thanks for that. In terms of additions to the agenda, there's just one addition that we'll talk about briefly later on in the correspondence of 2025 Prime Minister's Awards for an exceptional educator.
Oh, and that we will remove under correspondence the healthcare recruitment video.
That's right. We won't be approving it. The healthcare recruitment video apparently needs tweaking before it's presentable to the public, but we're all looking forward to the big reveal. All right. So if there are no further changes or additions, we'll approve the agenda by unanimous consent. And members of council would have received the minutes of regular minutes of Committee of the Whole dated October 2nd, 2024. If there are no errors or omissions, the minutes are approved by unanimous consent. We have no presentations this evening, but we do have public input. And just for members in the gallery, our rules on public input are, we have 10 minutes that is reserved, 3 minutes per speaker is what we allow. And we're here to hear what you have to say, but the council does not deliberate and open. It's a chance for the public to provide input. So that's basically how it works. So you have the floor.
Okay, well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to at least have a few minutes. I did send you all this morning an email that you probably didn't get a chance to look at, but I do have a copy for each of you because I was not able to send it to Mrs. Kennedy, sorry, because your email bounced back.
I did get a copy.
Okay, great. And then I came in this afternoon and I was speaking with CEO Sandy, and I asked if I could address the council in regards to your lovely 68 pages, because I did probably more work as you did reviewing your package. So I'm not going to be able to say what I wanted to say in 3 minutes. So I'm going to tell you that I have been reviewing a lot of information and the email that I sent this morning is a call to action. So I am requesting that you all the new council, take a look at what we're saying, because in the package are letters. Lucy Longmire, myself, and our friend Winnie, we actually, I was pleasantly surprised to see our letters attached to your package. So these are, for the public listening, our letters of declination because we did not agree with the process of the electronic only forced, coerced voting system. So that is what I would like to be speaking into. And I did review a little bit about the very beginning. You have all your IntelliVote, all the elections results and stuff. So I would like to ask if I could request status to come back your next council meeting to have a proper 10 or 15-minute presentation in regards to what I have actually sent to you this morning.
So all of your information has been received. So it was received today. So we all received what you had. We have your letters of October 15. And the whole matter is being referred to the CAO, to staff, in terms of the response. So this is the way this normally works, is at Committee of the Whole, we receive information from groups, public. The information is then worked on by staff in the interim, and then we come back at council and discuss it. And so for presentations are booked. Normally, we receive most of the material for most people just up front. So not everything requires a presentation, but if there's new information or anything, but you can be assured that any information that's been given to the members of council is read, has to be before it's research, and then there's discussion at the council meeting. And they're public meetings, any member of the public can attend to hear the discussion or can watch it on YouTube.
So I'm not clear, I'm sorry, how do I do a presentation then? You said something.
Well, most presentations, especially if they're complex,
Yes,
most of our material is always received, most of it in writing in advance. And it all goes to
in
council.
advance.
Yes, so for example, like we've received the material that you sent today.
Yes, because I knew that it was on a time crunch and I knew that this was your first meeting. And when I looked at the agenda and then I saw our letters and that the report for the returning officer with all of the information, I thought, well, this is the perfect time to actually have the new council look at the information, because if it's not, I felt that if it wasn't looked like today, then it's gonna fall somewhere else.
No, what
And,
happens is the material comes to council, staff will add whatever work that they've done on this, like whatever staff were involved in this particular matter. All that information is collected, comes back to council in the form of a report or whatever other information.
Okay, because I had some points to present to council, but I didn't think, I've got 3 pages and I wasn't gonna be able to do it in 3 minutes, so that's why I asked.
Well, the 3 pages can certainly come to us to be considered before the next council meeting. So we can receive that information. If you don't have time to go through 3 pages, and I understand that, if you want to make briefly your points and leave that with us, we can accept that as part of your submission today.
Well,
That's not
when
a
I was
problem.
told this afternoon that I wasn't gonna be able to do a presentation, then I kind of like went home and thought, okay, well, I need to strategize how am I gonna do this?
Right,
Because
right.
there's no way that I can take this, that I have information to just put it in 3 minutes.
No, and we wouldn't expect anybody to come in and read from their presentation. So we can receive it tonight as part of the official record from you. That's not a problem.
Well, I'm not willing to do that
Okay.
because I wrote notes on them and I
Oh, yes.
have my.
Would you like
copy.
to send us a copy?
Send it to the CAO,
Send it to the CIO.
Well,
and then it gets included into the December minutes if there's
Becomes part of the
anything to
record.
discuss, yeah.
Yeah. So you're free to send that in. I understand the time constraint.
yes, because it's like, the town of Annapolis is not the only town that this has happened. So we have had elections that were all electronic all throughout.
Right,
So
right.
some of us are trying to come up with resolutions. So we're just trying to help the new councils coming in, the new councilors coming in to kind of like maneuver everything.
So it'd help us if you send, whatever you'd like to send, if you send it through to us, to the CAO for us, then it will go in with the record. It'll form part of the discussion, for sure.
Well, at this point, what I want to say before I leave is that when I had my discussion this afternoon and that I said so that I would want to present to the council because I feel that it's so important, needs to be addressed. And the comment was that you would not be able to do anything about it because it was after the fact and the elections have already happened. And I said, well, according to my letter and what I have done, there is action that is required so that I am kind of like somebody that gets raped does not say, oh, no, you can't say anything after the fact. So for some of us, we feel that this whole violation of electronic only voting, that's why 3 of us have sent you this declination.
And we understand there's a complaint,
Right,
and we do have a process for dealing with it because we have to have a process. We receive a lot of information. And so you did have time to address council tonight, so we're aware of your concerns. And the next thing is whatever documentation you wish to submit, I can assure you that'll be part of the discussion. I'd absolutely will.
okay. And do you want the copy, the hard paper copy that I sent you from this morning? Because I did print you a copy because I was not sure.
No, we all have it, we've all received it.
We all see,
You all see.
and if there's further information, you're free to submit it.
Okay. All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank you both for taking the time to come in. Appreciate it.
Okay. We don't need to leave right away.
No.
Okay, right, thank you for that. All right, so we're moving on to new business. And the first item on the agenda is the appointment of deputy mayor by ballot. And I think all members of council would appreciate a little bit of the background on the policy that the town has and.
Right, so the policy is that we just do a ballot. You, anybody that's wishing to put their name forward has their opportunity to put your name forward. Then you can say why you're interested in putting your name forward for the deputy mayor, and then we'll just do a private ballot and we vote for who we want. And then usually we discuss whether it's a 2-year term. Most generally, we do it for 2 years in case there's someone else that wants the opportunity. And then the other, at the end of the 2 years, we bring it back to the table and we can switch, or the same person can stay on. So the option is 2 years or 4 years, and who wants to be the deputy mayor?
I'll put my name forward.
And I'll put my name forward.
Okay. And so we'll just, I don't know, give a couple minutes each of why
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
interested in the position. And then we'll do the vote. And I think you all have a ballot in front of you.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you can just,
There she goes.
and then we'll, and then you can send them, we'll give them to Kim. Kim will do the thing as per se, and then go from there. Yeah. So we'll just go in alphabetical order. Addie, McDonald, we'll go with them for McDonald. You can go first, Addie.
Sounds good. I'm taking notes.
Okay.
So thank you for the opportunity to share why I'm putting my name forward for deputy mayor. After moving here in 2012, I immediately began volunteering with the town, starting with the Marketing and Economic Development Committee, as well as 3 different task teams. And I sat for several years on the Natal Day Committee and chaired it during a key transitional period. I'm currently the Chief Operating Officer for Arrow, which has been an economic driver for the community since 2016, and which has given me the opportunity to work with all of the municipalities in our region and several beyond. With Arrow, I was able to work directly with town hall staff to facilitate a facade improvement program and to chair the Annapolis Royal Refresh Project, a community collaboration made up of 4 distinct groups that rotated through 17 members and met every 2 weeks for 22 months while working together to refresh key public spaces in the town. All that is to say, I have a lot of experience running meetings and keeping things on track while making sure everyone gets an opportunity to be heard and to contribute. Those roles help me learn how the town hall works and learn a great deal about the MGA as well. I am currently on the executive of 3 nonprofits and also sit on 1 corporate board. I'm comfortable with public speaking, and while I still have some learning to do, I'm comfortable with Robert's Rules of Orders and even carry my little coffee with me. I see the role of deputy mayor as a supportive one that primarily acts as a backup for the mayor if or when she needs it. I was inspired to put my name forward because I had the distinct pleasure of working with one of the best deputy mayors I've known, which was the late Pat Power. She served as deputy mayor under 3 different mayors, and she showed me what it truly means to be a supportive team player on council. She didn't see the role as a stepping stone to something next. She valued it for the supportive position that it is, and so do I. I have an extremely flexible schedule, and so I'm available to step up as needed at the drop of a hat. And with all that said, whether you choose me or someone else, I am absolutely just delighted to be working with all of you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Right. So I have been in Annapolis for almost 2 years now. During that time, I volunteered in several different capacities with several different groups, including taking a role in the Natal Days Committee to help move topics forward, make sure agendas were working effectively and develop organizational plans. I was comfortable doing that because I spent 30 years in the corporate environment. Many of those roles that I had involved either supervising people or taking on roles where project management was an aspect. I think that in running a meeting, there's 2 aspects to it. There is the part where you have to look at the technical aspects. Have you got agendas? Are you following Robert's rules and all that? But there's also an art to making sure that people feel heard, to making sure that everybody has their opportunity to speak, that we're clearly accomplishing the goals we want to accomplish, and that there's a tone of respect for everyone. And those are all things that I value very much. So, you know, I also have an extremely flexible schedule because I'm retired. And the only commitment I have is dance class for my grandchildren. So I'm also able to step forward at any time. I've presented in many, many different places, including in front of most of the regulatory agencies globally, from Europe to US to Canada, Latin America, and so on. So public speaking is something that I've had to become quite comfortable with. So all that to say, I'm happy also, however the vote goes, I'm happy to be working with everyone and really happy to be able to think about ways to make a significant contribution to Annapolis Rural.
Thank you. Are there any further nominations?
Oh, come on, no.
That would be so fun.
Yeah. Everybody
with nomination, following Robert's rules. We will close nominations, and you each have a lovely ballot, which is an improvement on the last ballot I saw years ago. Yeah, great. So we'll now take a few minutes to consider our vote, and we'll fold it over, pass it each time.
I was gonna say, John, just call them for you.
Please.
I can reach the answer. Thank you.
Thank heavens we're not in Georgia.
Oh, she is, yeah. No, I don't think we'll have, and I don't think we'll have any hanging chads or.
Great, so congratulations to Sybil. Congratulations.
Proper.
Yeah. So the next decision of council is what term would you like to have, 2 or 4 years?
I did a little bit of research when I was considering whether I would put my name forward and saw that there are different approaches. I think what we need to balance is people's ability to you know, come forward and do the work, but also wanting to give people a chance to try out the role. I think that's very important in developing successors in this world, because we want people to learn the different roles and how we might move forward. So what I did see, some of the municipalities around do a year, some of them do a month, which seems a bit crazy. But if there were people other than just 2 who wanted to do it, I think we should consider, or maybe like defer considering to the end, till there's been a year past or 2 years, so that if people's life circumstances change such that they could step forward, then they could.
Any other comments?
I think policy states 2 years or 4 years.
Policy does state 2 years, and so I think I would think that we would just go with the 2 years, as has always been done in the community.
So council does have the right to change policies, as you know, you set policies, so just so everybody's aware that, you know, just the fact that if you go with the policy today doesn't mean that
It can't be
it
changed later.
cannot be changed.
Today is what is.
Whatever you think would be in the best interest of the council. Yeah. Any other comments before we make a decision on term? Is everybody okay with the 2-year term? That's for policy. Well done.
There's a
Yes.
draft motion on your page.
Yeah.
Yes. And who would like to move?
Oh, I will. I'll move. So I would like to recommend to council to appoint Sybil Skinner Robertson as deputy mayor for 2 years until December 31st of 2026.
Do we have a seconder? Second. Are you ready for the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Well done. That's the first item of business done. Lovely. Second on the agenda is a meet and greet for the new council for the residents of Annapolis Royal.
Yes, I'm not sure. Did you add that to the agenda?
I did not add it,
Okay,
so I wasn't sure what. A lot of the new residents don't know who the new councils are.
yes, so I'm not sure if,
Are.
yeah, so we, in the past, we've had just a meet and greet here at town hall, or we could, get the Legion, and we could, show them the new police department, we could show them town hall, we can, do a little meet the staff if you want, or just meet council. Since you're all new, it's up to you if you want to get staff to organize something like that and pick a date, and we'll make it happen, or what are your thoughts?
Well, one of the discussions that I think came out of the actual campaign was that the community meetings were quite well attended and very much enjoyed by the people who attended them and got an opportunity to talk to everybody. Maybe there's an opportunity to incorporate this kind of a meet and greet with an ongoing thing. I think, Sybil, you had talked about like a maybe once a month, or like a Saturday afternoon, or maybe a, whatever it might be, or maybe it rotates different times, different days, but just that opportunity for people to almost like have coffee with the council. And the first one could be meet the new council.
So,
Like maybe a theme to each one of them.
so you have no budget for this,
True.
right? Because the budget was laid out prior to you coming in, so that's the budget you have to live with.
Mhm.
And of course, if you're bringing staff in, then you have to consider that's staff time, loo time, and cost. If you're just doing it on your own,
Mhm.
then that's like, so there's lots of things that you've kind of thrown out there that you have to consider when
Yeah,
making.
so
So maybe if we deal first with the meet and greet for the initial one, I think it's a great idea. And what we would like to consider understanding all the
Parameter.
rules and regulations and requirements around how it can be done. I think we all felt like those were really valuable experiences for us as well as for the electors. And I think also sometimes when people we live in a very fractious world politically nowadays. I think the opportunity to have face-to-face conversations helps to calm that down often. So I think there could be some real benefit. Want to be conscious of not creating a burden for the staff. So we need to understand based on the GM, what we're allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do. But we did manage to everybody did a little bit and pulled something together. And I think I haven't got a bill from the Legion yet, so.
Still covered.
Yeah.
Still got covered. You covered other things. It was Walford and Batford.
Yeah, but I just think it would be well worth the opportunity to give people a chance to talk to us and us to talk to them.
So now, of course, we're already in November, so maybe a nice December thing, like a Christmas greeting, I don't know, we've done different things, you could, if you want staff to come up with some ideas and bring them back, if you want to pick a date
The
that
town
you're all
hall
in
open
favor.
house idea that you kind of mentioned is an interesting, I think, component to put together with a meet the new council idea to welcome people in and be able to see how things have maybe changed or rearranged in town hall since the last time they were in.
Yeah.
Not everybody gets a chance to
No,
be here.
that's right.
And then that way, maybe it's easier to incorporate it with staff, because then it would be a more kind of concerted effort on both parts.
So I guess staff need a date. That would be the first thing.
Yep.
And if you like the idea of December, that gives plenty of time to.
And it would have to be in an evening,
And so evening, so that narrows things down.
so we're not bringing staff in on the weekend.
And now we haven't, discussed so I don't know if you want to table this to later on conversation. Because we haven't talked about when our committee of the holes and council meetings are going to be.
True. So
And
we
when
can
the
tie
other
it on to
ones,
meeting
so
time.
We
Okay.
we'll get through the agenda, and then maybe at the end of the new business, we'll bring it back to discuss a date.
is that we could have it maybe before the council meeting, is that what you're kind of thinking? Because then to your point about bringing in staff, that would kind of,
Yeah, we could, see what days are
So we
working,
can fit
so.
it into the meeting schedule.
yeah, that's what I want.
Why don't we do that? If everybody's okay with that?
So we'll just,
Makes sense.
not that there's a motion on the table, so we don't need to table it, but we'll just bring it back after.
Okay, we'll deal with
Bring it back with the,
Yeah.
It depends on what day of the week we do have a meeting, because I have work meetings till sometimes 4:30.
Yeah, so we'll-
Till 5.
Yeah,
So we'll-
so that's on the agenda.
Item 5.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Okay, thanks for that. And you have the results of the electronic voting at tab 2. The report is there. Sure, can view it.
couple of questions, but I don't know if we'll have the answers here today. A partial answer to my question was seeing the attachment to the agenda of the declined ballots. But the question I had was how is a spoiled ballot determined? In
So
this?
if a person goes on
Mhm.
and opens up, like goes right into the voting, you can vote for mayor, you vote it for one. If you check both of them off, then that would be a spoiled ballot.
Okay.
If you voted for all of the councillors, that would be a spoiled ballot. If you also, there's also a section that you can choose not to vote,
Yes,
For
I
one
thought
of the
that, yeah, I
others.
saw that.
and then that would show up also.
Okay. And then with the declined ballots, because we had the attachment to the agenda, so we saw how that was done. But there's one declined ballot for mayor and 4 declined ballots for councillor.
So they chose only to vote for one.
Okay.
So they declined to vote for councillor, or they declined to vote for mayor
Okay, I see what you're
in the different, like, how many ones there was.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
And I will say we did have a great turnout at the 64%. It was lower than the last vote at 66%. So,
People around the table were jealous of our.
Yes. At the meetings in the last 2 days, they were envious of that number.
Oh, so that's item 2.
Thank you.
Go on for committee dates for committee of the whole and council meeting. So the big ones are committee of the whole and council. So we'll start with those that will help with committee work.
the others, yeah. So currently, we do Wednesdays at 6 p.m. And it's up to this council to decide if Wednesday's a good day. So I would just personally, as a staff person, would advise not to have Mondays, because most of the holidays are Mondays, and then if there's stuff to add to the agenda or some research, it's hard to do on a Monday for the Monday evening. And then, of course, nobody
Friday,
wants
I
to
know.
meet on a Friday.
I really like all of you, but I know.
Right. So I don't know do you want to go around the table and discuss first the day? Wednesday, is Wednesday a good day or not a good day?
So for me, I'm a volunteer firefighter and that's practice night, so I would prefer if it was a different day.
Okay.
Wednesday works for me. Thursday would also work for me.
I actually, any day but Monday and Friday works for me. So I would be totally okay if we switched it.
Wednesday sort of works best for me just based on childcare arrangements. Monday would be sort of my second choice.
And
So we've got, can I just summarize? So we've got 2 that Wednesday is currently good and 1 that Wednesday isn't good and 2 that any day will work.
Now, would it make a difference on the time on Wednesday if we kept Wednesday? What time is
Yeah,
training?
6 to 8, but
Yeah.
I mean, I can miss the first, well, I'm not allowed in the first meeting yet because I don't have,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
Right. I could miss one more every month, so I think that might work because we have 2 meetings a month, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Two Wednesdays.
And could we start at 4?
I couldn't.
No, could we start at
Not that
5?
day, no, I
No,
couldn't.
okay. So it would have to be 6. Okay.
5:30.
Yeah, I'll work around it with a preference, not an absolute. So,
Okay.
and childcare takes precedent.
Yeah,
You consider.
so that's so Wednesday's a good day.
Yeah.
And doesn't matter what time then.
Yeah, I mean, I work until 4 o'clock, so.
Yeah.
Preferably after 4 o'clock.
Yeah. Um. Do we want to try 5:30?
I was just gonna say.
Or is that too
you are
much of a
open at
rush?
5:30.
It's a rush, but I can do it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't, like for half an hour, I don't need to make you rush. Like, you know what I mean? I'd rather not,
Difference of 30 minutes.
yeah,
And we do our best to contain meetings within 2 hours.
Correct,
And,
yeah.
and by and large, we're successful at it. If everybody follows the rules, we can always do it within 2 hours.
If I'm being honest, so the dinner time and the
Yeah.
kids, 6:30 is actually a little bit better because they can transition to bath time and
Mhm.
all that. So I don't know if that's too late for folks.
That's okay with me.
It's hard for staff because then it's like,
It's so far away
it's
from the end of work.
from the, so it's like 8:39 before we get out, right?
It's like working a split shift and then working late.
Yeah, and then coming in at 8:30 in the morning, right?
Right.
So if we could try 6 and just see, and if it doesn't work, then we can adjust from there. If that's good with everybody. And this, it's not set in stone, like if it's not working at 6 o'clock on Wednesday, then we can, try something else as well.
And her availability might change later
Right.
as certain things. So
Then
we
we
could,
still-
it could, yeah, we could.
Yeah, okay. So we're good then, we'll leave it the 1st and 3rd. That's currently what we're doing, so that it's always nicely scheduled, so it's always the first Wednesday is committee of the whole, and then the 3rd Wednesday is council.
And it gives you time in between for meeting preparation and time for staff to do research, sets us up well. It works well.
Yeah.
Having the gaps in between.
Because all the other meetings have to come before council, so that's the other part you have to think of. So to make any recommendations from the committees that you're gonna sit on, the recommendations have to go to council for the motions to be made. So all of the meetings that we have to be before the 3rd Wednesday of the month, or else they don't get on until the following month.
Yeah.
So there's quite a lag, right? So, all right, so because we're already set with those days, we don't need to make a motion for that. That is good.
Yeah, okay, so now we're on to committee appointments, and even before we start with committee appointments, you have the list of committees that we currently have. So if you want to just take a look at that list. And comments on the committee structure itself. The list of all the committees. That's good.
I have 2 committees that cannot sit on. Just so that just to be clear, I don't want anybody to think
When I was looking at sort of the breakdown for the IDEA committee, so the inclusion, diversity, equity, and anti-racism, it said that it was to be determined how often they would be meeting. Is that?
So that is like, no, so that item is on the agenda later on here, and that's, this is a new committee that is mandated by the province. The province just came out in, a couple of months ago and said you have to have one, and it has to be in place by March 31st.
Okay.
So there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done before then. The council, prior to your council, the CAOs, the 3 CAOs, the county CAO, the the town of Middleton, and ourselves have gotten together, and we've suggested that we have one committee for the county-wide. So all 3 of the towns town and county have agreed to do that. So now the strategy that you have before you today is to outline the process for that committee to work together. I think there's 10 people on the committee. And so it's made up of the whole county and the 2 towns. So we might not even need a counselor to sit on that committee. It could just be representatives. Because we have to meet the standards of who can sit on the committee. So that one is kind of one of those tricky ones, and it will be rotating. So 1 month the meeting would be here, 1 month it would be in Middleton, 1 month it would be somewhere in the county, maybe Lawrencetown. Because Lawrencetown is also involved in the joint effort. So that one's our hard one.
It's gonna pick up the existing accessibility committee, right?
Correct. So that one will
You'll fold that.
hold
group
that
in.
one, and
But so may I just ask if we're kind of maybe unable to choose on that one because we don't know yet when the meeting's going to be. So we don't know who's got the right availability for it.
yeah, so we can put that on hold.
Yeah, because it's not yet a committee.
Yeah.
But good question.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start with the ones that you just say you can't be on.
Yeah.
Adults, which are which?
So because my husband is the police complaints commissioner for Nova Scotia, we've agreed that it's not really appropriate for me to sit on any committees that involve the police. Because that could
Okay,
potentially
so that would be Board of Police.
Yeah,
Commissioners.
board
Yeah.
of police commissioners and essentially the traffic flow is really the.
And
only
the question is whether we need a traffic flow committee or not.
Yes, so that one is mostly just the public works, the police chief and myself, and then a counselor. Most of the items that are on the agenda are operational. So that one, in my mind, is a committee that council does not need to sit on. Any items that come through staff would come up for council anyways to approve. So in my mind, we could
We don't need that one.
fold that committee if
If you're in
you
agreement.
if you choose to do that.
So that takes that one off the table.
So I think we'll have to make a motion to dissolve the traffic flow.
Do we dissolve the committee or do we just remove the need for a counselor to sit on the committee?
Yes, we would just remove the counselor from the committee, so it's a policy change.
Okay.
Okay,
So do we have a mover for that? So I'll move to remove the traffic flow, move.
It would count
requirement for
representation on the traffic
representation.
flow community.
Thank you.
Committee, yes.
Do we have a seconder? Okay. Are you ready for the question? All in favor?
Hi.
Aye, done. Well done. Okay, that cuts down on the number of committees. After that, I guess it comes up to what your interests are, where you think there's a good fit. For whatever reason, either you have an affinity for the subject or it's something you want to know more about. One of the riveting things around here is the audit committee, for example.
I'm interested.
I'm interested.
Wow.
Melanie's gonna be so thrilled. I don't have to be on it, so if somebody else.
So it requires 2 members of council, so who's all interested? Was that 3 people?
it was, yeah.
Different people, but you
No.
go ahead, you two spoke up.
And they usually are meetings during the day
Oh,
or,
there you go.
but it's done through Zoom. So like over in a lunch hour or something.
Yeah.
Now, they can change, right? Because they only meet twice a year. And so it's usually just working with our auditors. So, and it's usually what happens is after the audit is done, they go through it with the 2 representatives at a time and go over most of the details. And then you guys ask the questions and then it comes to council anyways after. So everybody gets to, partake in it. So if that works, then. And the dates are never decided until the audit is done and coming, right? So they can make it work.
Is there certain months that the audits always happen or?
Yes. There are. So our year-end audit is in March. We always do an interim audit and the interim is always usually done in the summertime.
Yeah, it's halfway through the year.
Right? It's, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember. I don't really know. I have to get back to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so our 2 nominees are?
So I just have a question. So would they consider meeting like at 4 o'clock?
Yes,
soon?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that
Yeah.
would work, yeah.
So Heather and Lynn? Great.
Yeah.
Done.
I'm good, yeah.
Okay.
Let's start at the top and go through
Yeah.
Board of Police.
No, Oh, okay,
That's on the agendas.
yeah, I was doing them.
I'm doing that too. Yeah, I've got two different
So that's
sheets.
fine, whatever sheet, yeah, Board of Police.
Okay, Board of Police.
So that one meets quarterly. That one is mandated because it does have a bylaw, and so the time is at
10 a.m.,
10 a.m.,
second Wednesday.
the second Wednesday of the month.
So. You guys, that's difficult to do, right?
And I
don't-
can't.
yeah, so.
I can, I mean, I think based on the number of committees we have, I might have to take some time off work and I can always sort of tweak my schedule because I work from home a little bit, so.
Do you have
It
an
is-
interest
I
in
do,
that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was
So
10 a.m. on
the
the
second
second Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah, and so the first one is December, right?
Yes.
We do have a police board in
Yes,
December,
December.
yeah. So it'd be
Board of
December,
Police,
March.
December 18th, 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Do you know how long it took for you now?
Oh, Chief Kane likes to talk. Yeah, usually an hour,
Okay, yeah,
Um,
that's
yeah.
completely.
But the board have control over that. Submission of reports ahead of time instead of oral reports.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of letting the chief know what your preference is. And do we have a second nominee for Board of Police?
Sybil said,
So,
right,
thank you.
right, Sybil?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth.
Then we have the Riveting Environment Advisory Committee,
I actually would be interested.
super active committee.
Yeah.
Okay, and we just need one member of council on that. We shouldn't say John. So Sybil, you're willing to take that on? Right. Then we have the Planning and Heritage Advisory Committee, who have decided they need to learn more about planning.
I would love to do that.
I'd love to
Okay,
do that.
so Adele and Lynn, they wish to have two members, great. Traffic flow is gone.
So now this one usually meets during the day as well, so. We'll see if we can change that to a night meeting.
Yeah, they have December
Staff
2,
on
9
it,
o'clock.
doesn't it?
That one has staff on it, yeah, so,
Is that a Monday, did you say?
well, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Next meeting.
Yeah, we can make it any day that works better, right? Like currently it's Monday. Is there, like, could it be like at 4 o'clock on a Monday? Or no, you're like, can you come any day before 5:30?
Mhm.
Yes,
I can come at 4:30.
right?
Does that work?
Well, it's just because that one, we have 3 staff that come to that one, right? So, yeah, so we'll, if you.
It depends on what day it
And
is.
it's always, well,
I could-
currently, it's always the first Monday of the month, if
Okay.
there's a meeting. So we haven't had a meeting in a couple months. We had one last month,
We do, yeah.
yeah, but then,
Not very often.
yeah,
Okay. So, yeah, I could get here by 4.
okay. So we'll try that one at 4, and if it doesn't work, then we'll push it back.
And then we have the Marketing and Economic Development Committee.
I think that's an obvious one. I'll put my name forward for that one.
And one member would also serve on the Twinning Subcommittee and one on the Natal Day Committee. Right, that's the structure right now.
Yes, yes.
The structure, the preference of the committee. Okay, so we have one nominee. We don't have a second?
We're having one or two on the May.
There's usually 2 on that one, yeah.
Sure.
In for a penny, in for a pound, is that the,
I
okay?
do have a flexible schedule.
Yeah.
Sybil, do you want, just because you're already involved with the Natal Day Committee, do you want to do the Natal Day Subcommittee?
No, I do not.
Okay.
And that one is, the second Tuesday of the month.
Okay.
And it's in 5 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So that one's sorted, audit committee's done. Inclusion, diversity, equity, and anti-racism, we're going to discuss the terms of reference next, so should we hold off on that one, you think? Okay.
Yeah.
Friends of the Annapolis Pool Society, Paula Hafting did a beautiful job of representing the town on that, so we need one member for that goal.
And I'm not sure when they meet. I think they just meet when they
When they need to.
need to meet, yeah.
If it's a flexible time, then
Oh, all right, thank you, so that's not good. Then there's condo board, lots of things happening at the condo board.
That one is, they just changed it. It's tomorrow night. So it's are we the first Thursday of the month? Yes,
Yes.
no, yes,
yes.
so that one is, yeah, at 6 p.m. on the first Thursday of the month. So, and what they go over is their budget, they go over, any, questions, concerns that the condo board has, they go over they're going over their bylaws.
I may be able to take that one on. I have to go to the IMSA, which is King's Transit and Valley Waste Authority, because
Yes,
they require the mayor and deputy mayor. I must go to the Annapolis County one as well, because those are requirements. So those two I'm on. So I could take the Academy Condo Board if nobody is interested. Hearing no takers, I'm down. Okay, next riveting meeting is the Annapolis Valley Regional Library Board. I'd love to be on. Oh, anybody else? When do they meet? That's a good question.
they do their own thing, I don't know.
I think it's at like 2 p.m.
It's, yeah, it's
And
2
it-
p.m. and it moves. It's.
Yeah, it
not-
also moves,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's in. I can't remember where the next one is,
I don't know either, but.
but it's usually like Lawrencetown or, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now Remo's another interesting one.
I'm very interested in that one.
Oh,
I'm interested.
we meet at night,
Yes, we do.
different nights,
It is,
at the call of the chair, right?
no, it's,
Oh, it would be my phone.
yeah,
I'll bring it up. We just had one, the 21st.
no, we have another one.
What's the date?
It's usually a Monday,
That's what I thought.
so
Was it the 28th?
we skipped November because nobody would have their teams done together. And so I think,
October, it seems to me we had one in October.
yeah, so the next one is December 9th.
Okay,
So it's
December 9th.
the second Monday of the month at 6:30. This one also rotates because it's regional, so 1 month we meet here, 1 month we meet in Annapolis County, and 1 month we meet in the town of Middleton. And the December meeting is in Middleton. This time.
So Sybil?
Yeah.
Great. Water Source Protection Advisory Committee, twice a year, one member of council. This is with the county.
When do they meet?
That's a good question.
They also meet, I think, in the evening, and theirs is, they have a lot of new water projects and their water tower and the water source. So they're going to meet more frequently, in the upcoming months and years on that one. And that is also at the county office.
So then I'm interested in that. Great. Okay, so I think that
Did you
covers
say
them
Monday?
all.
I don't
We don't know.
But for the Remo, isn't there two?
Be the spots?
Two spots?
Yes, I think Remo has two.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does, I'm sorry.
Didn't we have
Yes,
two
Sybil.
interested though?
I think so.
No, Sybil was the only one.
I thought you were
Sorry.
interested. Yeah,
Sorry, then.
So who is?
Lynn.
Lynn? Okay, so.
You wanna do water source then?
I'm just worried about the frequency of the meetings.
And I wasn't
You wanna do
keeping,
Reno?
I wasn't keeping track of how many
Well,
each of you
Heather's
have.
on, see, we've got Heather on Board of Police, Audit Committee, Friends of the Pool Society,
Okay,
so
so,
a lot.
yeah,
And Sybil, we have you on 4 right now.
And she would also be the backup for the working group.
Yes, as deputy mayor,
And-
he's got items, they, yeah, we
and
voted
the
up
two.
civil.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because those are mandatory backups.
yeah, so we need one more for Remo. And I am the rep now, right?
Yes.
So you can put me for that.
Okay, good, great, lovely, thank you.
So that one's Sybil and Lynn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I think we've covered them all.
Are you doing the water as well?
Yes. Great.
No, sorry, I wanted to make sure that.
So Addie, you're down for 2?
No, 3. Reddit, PHAC, and library.
Library, that's one of
In
them.
library.
Did we decide on audit?
Yes.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, unless one of you feels overloaded by the other ones that you've taken, in which case I would put my name back on it, but that's your choice.
No, it's fine, by the way. And sorry, these rotate every 2 years.
Yes, so they rotate every 2 years so that if you want to switch it up and try something else, or if you want to stay on, then, yeah.
So that's a good list.
And we can, it's just to say, we had to, like, if something happened, somebody's lives changed or whatever, we can change who's the representative on a committee just by
Making a motion.
making a motion.
And then Amory is also ex officio on all committees.
Mhm.
So if there's a committee that has one person on it and you can't make it, you could reach out to see if Amory could cover you that.
Yes, I'm a quorum person. And they don't have quorum, they call me. I have to leave home.
May I ask a question? Would this be the time to ask questions about how many people are serving on each of the committee, like the requirement for how many people are serving on each committee?
So for the members or for council members?
For council members.
So these are the requirements according to our policy on how many people have to sit on the committee. If you wish to choose to change that, then we can change that and change the policy and then just have one person sitting on a committee.
Because that was something that's been a discussion, kind of about a number of different committees, is whether or not you actually need 2 people sitting on a committee. And that also in turn might then alleviate some of the, suddenly you're
Yeah.
on this many committees per month.
Perhaps we could rotate.
Yeah, because
people on committee.
I just, the experience I had shared with Sandy about this was that at one point on Medic, there was 3 counselors, which meant that when they made a recommendation to the council, 3 counselors were making a recommendation to council. That was the majority of council making a recommendation. We only have 2 in these situations now, but I just wondered if it was worth talking about whether or not we wanted 2 on all of the committees, as some of them it's
I think for
required.
that,
but-
you'd have to, so they each have terms of
Yeah,
reference,
yeah,
right, by
but-
policy. So there'd have to be changes made, which can be made. So what you may wish to do is try this out and go through it. And there's you can change a policy anytime you want.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds
And
good.
the other thing, the unwritten rule, but I think it should be more than an unwritten rule. One of the things the former council did was specify that the mayor and the deputy mayor could not chair or be vice chair of any committee. Enough power already concentrated in the position of the mayor and deputy mayor. So that was something, it wasn't formally stated, but we did that for the last 2 years, I think, for the last 3 years. And it just resolved certain things, just shared the power better, made the committees more independent, really. So that was something.
So do I understand though then that if like any other counselor could be chair of the committee though?
I think what we
Should,
did
would it
was-
just not be
No,
council at
no, the
all?
way it was, no member of council.
Okay,
Yeah,
and is that true for no member of staff as well who sits on the committee?
that's always been true, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Are you trying to throw me under the bus?
no, not at all. I'm asking a question because I think right now we have.
Because I'm the only staff member that goes.
No, we have a contract staff person who's chair of a committee right now. Medic,
Right.
Yeah,
right. So that's why I was asking how that works.
yes, that's a shared position between, again, the
Yeah.
county and Middleton, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think in that case, there was nothing within our policy that we could see about but that's something.
What's a new position too, right?
Yeah,
That just
it's a
came
brand new
into,
position,
yeah.
And but it's only a term as well, so I really even wondered if maybe it was just like a leave of,
Yeah, it only goes until March.
Goes
yeah,
till March,
so maybe
yeah.
it's a leave of absence until March from the chair. And then back when they're done.
All right, so we have all these recommendations to make. So you have the draft motion. Kim has reported the names. Publicly, we disclosed who's, so are you ready to pass just one big motion on all these appointments, rather than going through the full list?
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
One big motion.
Yes, well, all the appointments that we've approved.
I think it's easier for the minutes to,
Let's go through.
to be
okay.
clear
So
for,
let's go right
yeah.
through. So I'll read them out and then we'll look for a mover and a seconder. So I'm going to start with the audit committee. To recommend, so the recommendation would be, motion would be to recommend to council the appointment of Heather Sadkowski and Lynn Myers as counselors to the audit committee until December 31, 2026. Do I have a mover?
I'll move that.
Seconder? Ready for the question? All in favor? Aye, motion carried. For the Environment Committee. Recommendation for the Environment Committee would be, where is? Yes, there she is. To recommend that council appoint Sybil Robertson Skinner. Robertson or Robertson?
Skinner Robertson.
That's all done. For the Environment Advisory Committee until December 31st, 2026. Could I have a mover? Moved by Heather, seconder.
Second.
Ready for the question? All in favor? Aye, motion carried. For the Marketing and Economic Development Commission, to recommend to council the appointment of Adele McDonald and Sybil Skinner Robertson to the Marketing and Economic Development Committee until December 31st, 2024. Mover? Heather, and seconded by Sybil. Thank you. We did not deal with the IDA, so we'll go over that. Board of Police Commissioners to recommend to council to appoint Heather Skinner Robertson. No. To the Board of Police Commissioners board until, so it should read to the Board of Police Commissioners until December 31st, 2026. A mover? Adele, so moved. And Sybil has seconded. We're not dealing with the Traffic Flow Advisory Committee, that can be removed. So for the IMSA, to recommend to council to appoint Mayor Anne-Marie Boyer and alternate Sybil Skinner Robertson to the intermunicipal service agreement until December 31, 2026. This includes King's Transit and Valley Waste Authority. Do we have a mover? Adele is moved. Other seconded, okay. For the ACIMWG, the Annapolis County Intermunicipal Working Group, to recommend to council the appointment of Mayor Anne-Marie Boyer and Deputy Mayor Skinner Robertson to the Annapolis County Intermunicipal Working Group until December 31st, 2026. I'll move. Adele again, seconded by, I think Lynn made her hand up quicker this time. For the Friends of the Annapolis Pool Society, to recommend to council the appointment of Heather. I did get the right name this time, Heather Sadkowski, to the Friends of the Annapolis Pool Society till December 31st, 2026. Mover. Sybil Skinner Robertson, seconded. Lynn, ready for the question? All in favor? Motion carried. To recommend the board to appoint myself to the Academy Content Board until December 31st, 2026. Will somebody move? Okay. I'll second. Okay, seconded by Adele. Was moved by- Great, we only have one committee to go and it's on the agenda. Well done.
That's bad.
And PHAC.
Yeah.
Yes, I have it in my other sheet. Yes, okay, so. Yes, yeah, it's right here, PPAC. Planning, okay, so the recommendation is for Adele McDonald and Lynn Longmires to be.
No.
Lynn
Myers.
Myers, Lynn Myers, to be appointed to the Planning and Heritage Advisory Committee. For a term ending December 31st, 2026. Do I have a mover? I'll move it. Second, Sybil. Okay, great. The other one that was missed on that one? Library. Library, let's deal with the library, the Annapolis Valley Regional Library, and the motion would be to appoint Adele McDonald to the Annapolis Valley Regional Library Board until December 31st, 2026. Okay, Lynn has moved. Seconded by, Stephen. Motion carried. Let's deal with the Water Source Protection Advisory Committee. This would be moving the appointment of Lynn Myers to the Water Source Protection Advisory Committee until December 31st, 2026. Moved by Sybil, seconded by Adele. And that leaves one more, which is Remo. How could I miss Remo? So exciting. So this would be a motion to appoint Deputy Mayor Sybil Skinner Robertson and Lynn Myers to Regional Emergency Management Office, Remo, for a term. The term would end December 31st, 2026. Do we have a Adele and seconded by Heather? Okay, now. Lovely, thank you all.
Now that we have all of those,
Yes,
did you want to go back and pick the date for the,
IDEA.
nope, the meet and greet?
For the meet and greet.
The meet and greet, yeah.
Okay, now that you know all of your days that are gone.
And did we, sorry, please refresh my memory, did we talk about whether or not we wanted to do that right before one of our meetings?
We did not discuss it.
Okay,
No. So I think as far as we got was maybe December.
well, I was just wondering if we wanted to maybe try and do it in a time period right before the December committee of the whole meeting. Or would that be too squishy for
It's-
you?
it's first
Wednesday.
I have
never
a
mind.
staff meeting on that
Yeah,
day.
never mind then, no worries.
And you know, you can pick the day of the week.
Unless it's the third Wednesday.
So that's the day of council and that's the 18th of
That's the
December.
18th. That gets getting a bit late, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it every Wednesday you guys meet? Sybil? Is it every Wednesday you meet?
The fire.
The fire department, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not required, the first one, but the second, third and fourth, I can be there. I should be as many as I can, but.
I was just wondering if it makes more sense to maybe not do it on a Wednesday, so you're not having to miss
Mhm.
the 3 for that month.
That's really helpful, but I can accommodate it, you know.
I mean, if it's a one-off, then
I'm more concerned about the staff having to come in on a different day, if we can align
That's what I was.
the meeting and this.
So do you want though, the staff, do you want to just have it, the first one to meet council? Or did you want to have like the open house to meet staff as well?
I think it would make sense to just meet council, but I thought, maybe I misunderstood. I thought it would require some work on behalf of the staff, so that's why.
Well, we would do the work during the day and then I would
And
be
that
the
would be
staff
fine.
person that would come.
Okay, so
I wouldn't
then-
have
It does,
my leadership team here unless it was like an open house to
Yeah.
meet everybody, right?
Yeah.
Like if we wanted to do that and, you know, people could come in, look at the building or go to the police department. I can't remember. But. It's
I'm just
in there.
thinking about maybe that's something separate.
Yeah.
Maybe the open house is something separate and we do it during.
I think it's just the
Yeah.
associations who observe municipal week. I'm not aware of any municipalities observing it. It's one of those things that
There's no reason why.
actually, if we had to celebrate all the days that they think we should celebrate, no work would ever get done in a municipality. It's like, they have no idea what they've built here. Yeah,
so, I mean, if it can be a day other than a Wednesday, that would be great then.
Yeah.
And you have,
Mondays are also good for me, but I can be.
So we can do it on
Or-
Monday, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not like it's like we wouldn't pick a holiday, right?
Yeah.
So we can definitely do like a Monday.
What about the first Monday of December?
That's the second.
That's the second, and we already have meetings that night, don't we?
December 2nd is Planning and Heritage Advisory.
Oh, and I'm on that, so yeah.
You're already here.
I'm already busy, sorry, never mind.
But it could be the
The
9th,
ninth.
could be the 9th.
That's our remote meeting.
We will meeting. Oh, wait a minute, it's not on this list. Oh, okay, so that's a different list. Okay, so December 9th is remote.
In Middleton.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so that's no good.
And then we usually carpool.
So how about the last Monday in November? I know that's getting close.
Oh, the 25th of
Yeah.
November,
That's the 23rd.
No, 25th, the last Monday,
of November.
November.
Oh, sorry. The wrong month.
And Christmas, we'll have dinner.
Christmas dinner.
And we could even do the 18th of November, because there's not much to put together, just to be invited.
And everybody got really quiet about November 25th. Does that actually mean that November 25th would work for everybody?
Good work.
I'm just,
What time?
There, I would just say, just because I know, there's the Community Health Board that I volunteer on, we're having a make a swag night at the
oh, yes,
church, I think is where we're doing it. But that's at 7 o'clock. So some people would be going to that, but I don't, it doesn't, like, there's always gonna be something.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I wouldn't imagine the meet and greet would be much longer than an hour anyways.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, like I
It's
just
just
kind
an
of,
opportunity to.
I mean, I don't know that many people will want to, how much time would be spent at it. It would, I think would be very casual.
Lynn, are you available earlier on Mondays? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay, so what would be?
I could do
the
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, and that would leave, we could say 5 to 6.
Yeah,
Does that work?
I could even do 4:30
That would be 4:30.
on a Monday, yeah.
4:30 on the 25th. Does that work for you guys?
yeah, we'll make it.
4:30? Okay, looks like we've got our meet and greet. Great.
So we'll get right on that to get that out to the
Great.
public.
4:30.
We'll just do 4:30 to 5:30, just to drop in.
Yeah, that's a
And
start, right? Then we can
our
talk
new
about
council.
how we want to go forward after that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And no
That is
staff.
done.
Sorry, so 4:30, right?
Yeah, 4:30 to 5:30.
Just had a little brain blip there for a second.
And that brings us nicely to tab 4 for your final committee, which is the IDEA Committee. Inclusion, Diversity, Equity, and Anti-Racism, which is a most recent committee that's been mandated. So we have no choice in the matter. Another committee must be established to be efficient. The 3 units are organizing a single committee, which should help with membership and all the rest. So we're not going it alone. So you have the document, in your package at tab 4.
we asked questions about the document.
Absolutely.
So do we actually have access to someone who can do meetings in American Sign Language?
We would have to hire somebody, yeah. And there are people that we are aware of that.
We have one in town at least.
With an instructor in town. So
And then I was wondering where we could access the minimum accessibility requirements. I'd just be interested to see.
Well, we already have an accessible plan. It's on our website, so the
Yeah.
plan is there. That outlines the requirements that will be. So the rules go into effect in 2030,
Yeah.
but then you have a year afterwards to come into compliance, right?
Yeah, I got.
So the building code and all of that are going along with it.
Yeah, I got the sense from the document that there was like a set of the absolute minimum that they were gonna require. I was just interested to see what they were.
Yeah.
So that would be in the town's accessibility plan.
Okay, but are there cross province minimum?
Just ours. We just worry about Nova Scotia.
No, I meant across Nova Scotia, not across other provinces.
Yes,
Yeah.
the accessibility is for the whole province, yeah.
Right.
So our current accessibility committee, which is sort of operating, would now fold into this.
No, we'll dissolve.
Well, sorry, we'll dissolve, I should have said dissolve. The work disappears, it shows up over here, plus some more stuff.
Yeah.
But
And so-
the joint committee, we're cutting down on the, hopefully on the level of
That
effort.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and because we have a hard time getting quorum,
Mhm.
we're hoping that if we only have two people each to bring to the committee, then we'll have enough
Yeah.
people.
And it's easier for us to achieve diversity on a broader base because we've got 530 people, County have, what, 23,000.
Yeah, so you can get a wider range of diversity,
That can
actually.
help us
Yeah.
reach those targets, yeah.
So this is just the strategy that would be given to the new committee. So we're looking to get this strategy approved tonight so that we can get, and Middleton is working on, theirs approved. The county has already approved the strategy that the CAOs have worked on and put forward today. And then we will go out for advertising for people to sit on the committee.
So will the people who are currently on our accessibility committee be invited to be on the new committee, or just they would have to resubmit as a?
They'd have to resubmit because it's county-wide.
Yeah.
But we're hoping that they will want to,
Yeah, I guess that's kind of why I was asking, like, would they be invited?
yeah,
They're
like I
already
would
part of
definitely
it,
tell
so-
my committee.
Yeah,
That unfortunately this committee is folding, but we're moving over to this one because it's mandated and give them the whole
Yeah.
story, the background and ask them, you know,
If
are
they
you
want to
interested
apply.
into applying?
yeah.
But yeah, so and then we have to make sure that all the people that do apply, that we hit all of the milestones of the people that need to be on the committee from all the different groups.
Yes.
So if we have two people that are from the LGBTQ community and nobody else has them, then our two could be the two representatives,
Yeah,
right?
but
And
if there's somebody from every community, then
Then
there's
the
gonna
committee
have to
would
be a
have to
decision
have
about
picked
who those
who's-
citizen members are.
correct, yeah.
And then there's this whole issue of having meetings when it's hard to get to meetings.
Right.
Mhm.
So that's another, I don't know how they're gonna get around the accessibility issues.
On that.
Yes, well,
Yeah.
it'll have to be Zoom combination of stuff,
Yeah.
but anyway, they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we're going to be asked for a motion to approve.
It's just one of us do this motion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I could move to recommend to council to approve the inclusion, diversity, equity, and anti-racism idea strategy dated October 2024.
Do you have a seconder? Civil, thank you. Further discussion? Anything else anybody have to say?
And I do have the changes that you were sent in, so I'll send them off to Chris and get those.
Okay, mine were mostly editorial,
Yeah.
but why 4 governments and 5 governments in the next
Should have been
meeting?
4, yeah.
At least minor little picky stuff.
I just have one question. How long have you guys been working on this draft?
Before summer, it started,
So
and we've
kind of
met,
late spring?
yeah, we've probably met 3 or 4 times to put this document together.
And before that, Kings had gone through the whole thing. School units had gone something a very similar exercise.
Okay. It looked very good to me.
It's the power of intermunicipal groups, right?
Yeah.
Get to band together to do. And I think all of you have received your copy of the new code of conduct.
Do we vote on the
no, we
motion?
Oh, I'm sorry,
No.
yeah, my fault. So we moved and seconded. Are you ready for the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried, thank you.
I will just say before we move on to that, I am attending the November 20th, 21st workshop on the strategy. It's in Wolfville. So it's a 2-day course on it, so I will be going to that. Yeah.
Great, thank you for doing that.
Yes. That's wonderful.
So I think everyone got the new provincial code of conduct.
Yes.
And the big difference is there are now penalties, which did not exist before. But the one that really bothers me, under the Elections Act, yes, under the Elections Act. On all members have to be, or all candidates must have their water bills and tax bills up to date. And I know the town years ago, or maybe it wasn't a town, maybe it was a group of citizens, the suggestion was made that that should apply to the full term of people being in council. However, that was not accepted. It was one of the things we submitted as a recommendation. We thought, well, if you have to be a candidate, surely you should keep your bills up to date. But the province did not agree, so that was the end of that one
This seems
anyway.
kind of logical.
But the attempt was made, but at least they've introduced some consequences. And the other good thing about it was negotiated between the Union of Nova Scotia Municipalities and provincial reps. So there was municipal input and all of us got to participate.
Yeah, so we will, I will be bringing it to the agenda on the December committee of the whole. So we couldn't just we could just make a motion to accept the provincial code that was sent to everybody. But I am going to, because we already have a code of conduct, I'm going to take our code of conduct, review both of them and put them together as one document. So it's more personalized for us as our town. We also do have to appoint an investigator, which has to be done, and this all has to be done. So little background that is
Sure.
upsetting is that it came law as of October 2024, and we are mandated to have this done by December 19th, 2024. In the middle of an election and no time for staff to properly work and review this document. So that is another download, of course, from the province. So I like I said, I'm going to review it. It will be on the December agenda. And I'm also working with the CAO McNeil at the county so that maybe ours can be the same.
That's what I was gonna
Just to keep it consistent throughout because we're so close with our neighbors. And if you read the document, you notice there's also no process outlined in the document from the province. So I want to make sure that's added in so everybody knows if they do have a complaint, this is what you do.
Yeah,
The
that's
steps.
great. It's worth taking extra time.
Yeah, I think the
And it will
cost-sharing
cost
approach.
us money because we do have to appoint before the 19th as well. But our meeting is December 18th, so we'll just get it in under the wire. Not
Not
done yet, but.
Yeah, but one of the things that I just wondered about it in terms of, because it isn't a download, especially when it comes to the investigative side of things. But I think there are HR investigative contractors in Nova Scotia that I've come across through other work. So maybe that's something that could be discussed with the intermunicipal, whether it's in the intermunicipal working group or whether it's just that conversation between you and Chris.
Yeah,
The difficulty with HR contractors is they're HR contractors and not necessarily
Investigators.
government experts.
Yeah,
That's
no,
really
the investigator, they
Yeah,
are
but still,
like investigators.
yeah, and they're used to doing certain types of investigations, like employee investigations. In fact, we used the county for one that we did in Bridgewater, where, one municipal unit would help another. And because if people don't have background in municipal stuff,
Yeah.
it just,
Because what I was
you can't
looking
get
up
them
was
up to speed.
there's no such thing as a municipal investigator. So I was like, what kind of investigator are you actually going to be
A
able
judge.
to?
A judge,
Yeah,
a good
it's a
judge.
and we also, the province is sending a list of pre-approved people.
Oh, that's great.
I got an email today from David Campbell that they're working on a list because I imagine they're gonna have a hard time finding enough people to put on the list.
Thinking, like, how would you have people in Scotia that seemed a little bit
Yeah, and
unbelievable to
it
me.
could be an extremely expensive cost.
Yeah.
Do small municipal units. Because when I was talking to CI McNeil, that was his biggest concern, that anybody can just put in a complaint and then all of a sudden it triggers the cost that they have no control over.
And there needs to be a process by which something could be determined to be vexatious and frivolous before it goes
Before
to
it
the
goes to the
investigation process.
Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise you would just constantly be running up that bill and it would be enormous.
But all these downloads cost money.
Yeah,
And that's, but more than money is the time it takes to comply with a seamless, endless stream of requirements that we really have no control over. But anyway, we'll figure it out. Okay, so further stuff on code of conduct? everybody's got a copy and we'll get another copy. Thank you. Emergency management training, that's at tab 5. Think you have got that too?
Yes, so I just need to know who's available that day to take that training.
Bridgetown Fire Hall.
Bridgetown Fire Hall. That's a sweet thing, Fire Hall. Many dinners there.
Well, you're probably not gonna get a dinner tonight.
No, I was thinking about, remember they used to do the dinner things there, the nighttime markets. That's Monday, December 2nd.
I guess it's easier to ask who can't go.
Yes.
Who can't go? Because as long as we send enough people, we'll get the message, right?
I could go. I, that's the same day as our meet and greet, isn't it? No, we changed it to quite that.
25th.
Never mind. Yeah, I could definitely do the second.
Yeah. Amory?
Yes, I can make it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the 4 of us will go.
Okay, so December 2nd. Okay, great,
Yeah, that sounds good.
I will send that off.
great. Okay. We all voted. Okay. And that's for Remo.
Will there be a recording of that?
Probably not, we just do it in-house. Are you on the remote? Yeah, so you'll have your own little training that you'll have to do. And some of it you can do it online and different things, so yeah. We'll get you up to speed.
And we've got a really good Remo service, one that we're happy with. Very happy with how very professional. Okay, on to unfinished business, the task team on the deer concerns, tab 6. And you have your package.
And so that was just more information, and the previous council talked about setting up a task team. So just bringing it forward to see if this council would like to see a task team to start doing some baseline work and seeing what is possible. After talking with Yarmouth, if you're looking to call through the Department of Environment, you have to get stats over 3 years and prove that there is a problem with the deer. So I thought the best way was for a task team to take this on.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
We have to set their own times,
Yeah.
everything, like they set their own terms, no minutes, nothing like that.
So Yarmouth has done a population survey. Are there any municipalities closer to us that have done or started a 3-year?
The other, do you remember what was in the other package, Kim?
Oh, it was Truro.
Truro, yeah.
Yeah.
So no.
Here.
Yeah, yeah, it was kind of,
There, yeah,
we
both
were kind of
ends,
book ended, but there was nothing.
Yarmouth copied Truro.
Yeah.
That was the, yeah.
and this is just like one option, right? Like it's like the task team can kind of go and decide how, you know, if, first of all, do you feel there is an issue? You know, what are the options, how you would like to move forward? And, you know, you can come up with other ideas or suggestions and
And it would be citizen run. And they do.
Yes.
Public.
you would just, yeah, the task team,
I
yeah.
heard both points of view.
Yeah, so- We would have a counselor or two that would sit on the task team, they would be the chair of the task team. And then you could just put it to the public, see who wants to meet. You pick your own meeting times, there's no minutes, there's just, you kind of work on your own schedule. With the public, and then you make recommendations back up through what you found, or if there's a need to, you know.
And that can be multiple recommendations too. It can be like, here's 3 different
I
options.
was involved in the healthcare testing, so, yeah.
Yeah, so it's whatever.
Right, you're on the healthcare task.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm the first.
I get the first slide on the waterfront development task team.
Yeah, I mean.
Never mind, Sandy and I are still on the task team to figure out what to do with the causeway, the 16% revenue issue. That hasn't gone away, so there's other task teams that are still there.
Yeah, but I think this was, a lot of people seem to be concerned about it from both ends and, you know, we have to be kind to animals, but also not for people at risk for.
yeah.
Okay, so are we okay with the creation of a task team for this, which means staff would advertise for interest?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So we need a motion.
Yeah, so we just need to know who would like to
Direction to council, not just to appoint.
Yes, because he's one of the five of you have to be on it.
Lead it.
Lead it, yes.
Or at least chair it, or whatever you want to say.
You know,
Just get it started. I will say with the task teams, the way it's worked here, like I know with the NSPI one, we just co-opted somebody with all the background.
Yeah,
So if you
There's
got
only
the
three
first-
of us.
There's only three of us, and the person with all the background is not Sandy and me. Yeah, I'm just putting it out there, that if you recruit well for your task team, it works really well.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, is anybody else interested in it?
And we don't have to have a task team
The
either.
number of things that takes on, but
Yeah.
I can take more on if needed. If
And we don't have to have a task team, but
but the point is that somebody else, like the subject matter expert will take leadership.
Yeah.
This is a subject matter expert type of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just to make sure, like, they can also engage in public consultation, right? Because I think this would have to be something that would.
That's
take a
how
few
they've done it.
meetings with people
Yeah.
because there's very emotional beliefs on
Yeah.
either side of the issue, so, I mean, I'm gonna nominate myself.
Well, another partner could be Carp.
Yeah, no, I had thought about that, and we have lots of great.
who's on the environment committee?
There's a, there's a,
What a good connection.
but there's, you're right, there's a whole group of what they call themselves, the citizen scientists in this area, not just in town, but like in this whole area, so they're really large group of people.
Should make them, can I move to?
Oh, yes, you can.
It's yourself.
Okay. I would like to recommend to council to appoint Sybil Skinner Robertson as the chair of the task team for deer concern in the town of Annapolis Royal.
I'll second that. Any further discussion? You ready for the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations.
So we'll put it out in the next town crier that we're looking for anybody who would want to step up and sit on the committee to reach out to you directly. I'll just give them your email.
Awesome.
I'll send you the background I have on this one. Okay, great. That's the task team. Moving on to correspondence. We received the election correspondence at past 7, so we'll expect to see something for the next meeting of council and things in between. The other item, I just wanted to put it out there to the group because most of you are out there more than I am, but the Prime Minister's Awards for Exceptional Educator are out. And they're looking for municipal help in promoting this program and getting people nominated. So people with children, people in the school system. So I've got the information for whoever is the best person on council to take this and go to the school or do whatever. So it's STEM, the STEM is what they're after. Oh, I've been looking at the French. Okay. Teaching excellence in science, technology, engineering, math is what they're promoting. So I'm thinking AWEC, but
Well, Lynn can
Then she
take it to
have a-
Bridgetown
Yeah. Continue to high school.
yeah, so, yeah,
and I can give one to Courtney to take to AWAC.
Yeah.
Is it just a poster, right?
Yeah.
Two
Yeah.
posters.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, so one over here, one over here.
Cute.
That, done under that. So at this point, it looks like we've concluded our agenda and have no further business on it. We're going to thank the people who joined us online through the YouTube channel. Thank you for being here, whoever's there. And I don't know if you can tell how many people are there or not, Ken.
No,
Anyway, thank you to the members who joined us today, members of the public. Thanks for coming. The fact that you were here. And I'll entertain a motion to go into camera.